Good morning, guys, and welcome to your market report for this Wednesday, September 26th, 2018. Now, you know what? We're getting into the last part of 2018. Can you believe it? Now, here's the thing. Uh, we've got a whole lot of stuff happening, congealing in the financial system, but there's no real big black swans yet that are ready to take down the system. They haven't really popped their heads up, but it's almost like a field of mushrooms, and you can see them popping up, but they're not really up yet. All these problems in the financial system. And they're all coming at the same time. It's all congealing. Let's open up the charts right here and take a look. First, we're going to take a look at cryptocurrency, and we got Bitstamp, 64.80. Bitcoin it just seems like it's really solid on these prices. What you've got going on out there is you've got all these HODLers. They're not willing to sell now at this point, right? And you've got bulls out there like me who want to buy. I'm bullish on this stuff. I want to buy, but I want cheaper. And so that's what they're doing right now. I mean, there's a lot of guys like me. I want cheaper. I want a little bit cheaper. I'm just kind of holding back a little bit. So you got the HODLers, and they ain't going to sell. And that's where the market, there's not much volatility in this market right now. She's getting ready to blast off, I think, a little bit. I think she's getting ready to go up to about $8,000, or maybe more, maybe 9,000. Very possible in this market that could happen. I think there's probably a greater probability of that happening than it breaking down to the lower side, Anyway, at this point. Now, cryptocurrency market capitalizations, we're seeing everything go into the green now, suddenly, and a lot of these coins, some of them are up by 20%, but Litecoin's up 4%, XRP's up 20%. We're looking at a market capitalization of $215 billion through the industry, and also Bitcoin dominance of 52.4%. So everything's looking in the green. It's all looking good today. Silver price today. Well, she was trying a little bit there, and now she's sliding back today again, down 8 cents, 14.35. We certainly haven't hit the silver liftoff yet, the takeoff on gold and silver. It's not here yet, but I think it's coming. I think it's coming pretty soon. We're in a different situation now than we were back in the crisis of 2008. Gold and silver have been through a long bottoming process now at this point, and then when we go into this crisis, it's not like it's going to drive the price down to nothing. The crisis is going to be very similar to 2008, except it's going to have more energy because there's more leverage in the system this time. And what that's going to translate to, that more energy, it's going to translate into a financial crisis that's going to be a little bit worse than 2008. It's going to require more stimulus to stop it, and it's going to require more effort on the part of the Fed to stop it. But trust me, they will stop it. It's only going to last a couple months. And I'm expecting it in 2018, this year. What that's going to cause is when the Fed comes in and they respond to this, it's going to cause the amount of stimulus that they're going to have to do, and the amount of programs that they're going to have to put in place to stop this. It's like stopping a train. It's not easy to stop a train. If you want to stop it without hurting anybody, you got to apply a lot of friction against the train and slowly stop the train over maybe a half a mile stretch of track. And the train, it might take a whole 5 minutes to stop the train. But in the end, you can stop it. And that's what the Fed's going to do to this next crisis. The next crisis is like a runaway train. They're going to stop it, but it's going to require a tremendous amount of equal amount of force. So the way things work in this universe, if you got X amount of force, it takes X amount of force to stop that force. So it takes an equal amount of energy. And this is going to take a tremendous amount of money energy to stop it. but they will stop it. And when they stop it, they're going to have to transcend over the boundary line, and they're going to create an economic recovery with all the money they're going to have to release. And they have that money at their disposal. That money, when it hits the system, it's going to cause a real economic recovery. Now, that almost happened last time in 2008. They almost caused an economic recovery. They come so close to causing an economic recovery that the media, the Mockingbird media, touted that we were in an economic recovery. And not all that many people argued about it because we were close. They had actually injected so much money into the system with zero interest rate policy, quantitative easing 1, 2, 3, Operation Twist. They put so much money into the system that they almost made an economic recovery. This time, they're going to go over that boundary line, and they are going to create an economic recovery. That's when you're going to see your hyperinflation. That economic recovery is going to cause the hyperinflation, because hyperinflation is not the product of a depression. Hyperinflation is not the product of deflation. Hyperinflation is the product of people losing confidence in the purchasing power of their fiat currencies. And that happens when the price starts going up every day on everything you buy, and people say to themselves, hey, you know what? I'm buying it now. I'm not waiting until next month when it's half again higher than it is now. I'm buying it now. And when everybody starts to think the same way, then you get your hyperinflation. And believe me, when they create this next economic recovery and the banks actually start lending money out because people say to themselves, I want it now. I want to do it now. Now's the time. That's when we're going to see our economic recovery, and it's going to spring into a hyperinflation. And so the mechanism for this is this year I'm expecting the deflationary event, and next year I'm expecting the Fed to react to it in 2019 and create a economic recovery in 2019. The stock markets will go down during the deflationary event. The stock markets will go down, but during the economic recovery, the stock market's going to shoot back up again. But that's going to be rocket fuel for cryptocurrency. The recovery is going to be rocket fuel for cryptocurrency, gold and silver. And so all of 2019, we're going to be in the recovery, but toward the end of 2019, the recovery is going to be turning slowly into hyperinflation. And in 2020, we're going to be full steam into the hyperinflation, and that's going to be terrible, absolutely terrible. But we're going to have to go through that when we go through it. And the Fed is going to be responsible for it, and they're probably going to be held accountable at that particular point in time. Anyway, let's move on to the Dow Jones and see what it's doing today. We're looking at up 45 points over the period of the day. Let's see what the volumes. We had a spike in volumes, but the volumes don't look that particularly high today. Anyway, let's move on to oil. It's just like I said. Oil, when it peaks $70, it seems like there's an unseen hand out there that wants to bring it back down to 65. When it gets down to 65, they want to prop it back up to 70. I personally think it's OPEC. I think that they are controlling the price very carefully of oil. But that's my personal opinion. Let's move on to the U.S. dollar index today. She's up today 0.25%. It's riding strong, riding high, 94.38 today. Now let's take a look at bonds and rates. Bonds are down. The bond yields are going down all the way across the board, but not significantly. They've been up lately more significantly than the yields are falling today. I think today is a response to how much they've went up recently. they're trying to rebound a little bit. In other words, a little bit of a very small correction today in the bond yields. I don't think that this is going to be long-lived, this correction. I think that the Chinese are mad as hell, and they're going to be dumping U.S. Treasury bonds, but not all at once. They don't want to hurt themselves. So what they're actually doing is they're going to dump enough to try to shock Trump into submission. This is what they're trying to do. But I think it's going to be a failed attempt. I don't think they're going to get what they want. This is a trade war going on. It's a real war going on between China and the United States. A real trade war, an honest, out-and-out trade war. So listen, thank you guys for listening. This has been your market report, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.